No disrespect to Megan. Just an absolute non-event. It was Amanda come in, Amanda get your belt, Amanda get your money. It was crazy to watch the GOAT do what she did again. I mean, the whole build though, right? Like from Amanda and Nina now have the baby. You know, that's a whole nother. It's like now we have to find new wrinkles. Obviously, the baby's a big, huge point for Amanda in her personal life, but we're trying to find wrinkles to add to the story because she's been so phenomenal. And man, I got to be honest. I did a show. I did my detail on Amanda, and when she hits the girls, their eyes go boom. They're like, whoa. And it was the same thing on Saturday. I mean, Megan looked terrified to start. I'm not going to even lie. Like, I'm trying to be as respectful as I can. She looked terrified to start. She looked like she was nervous, as you would expect her to be. But then Amanda hit her. Her eyes went wide. She was just staring at her. Like, she was literally standing in front of Amanda Nunes, staring, almost waiting. And then Amanda just buzzed through her like she's done on so many different occasions. But for me, it was like, man, we've seen her knock out the best of the very best. So to see her go and get a submission, you forget. Amanda Nunes is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. Yeah. We just forget about it because she beats everybody up so bad. She goes and submits Megan Anderson with a triangle armbar.
Beautiful.
It was crazy. And then I saw people saying it was almost merciful. It was almost merciful for Amanda to submit her instead of continuing to beat on her. It's nuts.
In that Makhachev, everybody was swinging off his nuts, saying how great he was. And I've seen him before, and he did look great. But again, he rose to the occasion and looked sensational. The problem is for him finding fights now. I'm not sure what his ranking is, but he's going to struggle getting people to accept fights because just stylistically, he's just such a nightmare for everybody. And he's going to spoil your night. He's going to spoil your event. You know, you want to go out there, I've had a great training camp, my footwork's great, my striking's awesome, I've been dropping everybody in sparring. Well, that doesn't matter if you just led on the floor with some asshole driving his shoulder into your neck.
With Khabib being in his corner, being his coach, people talking about him like he's the next Khabib, I think he's probably only a fight or two away from, getting a title shot. That's the reality of it. So he's, to be honest with you, he's the guy to beat at 155 right now. Obviously it's not the number one contender, but he's the dude. It kind of reminds me of Hamzat, where like, even though he wasn't ranked at the top of the heap, he has so much hype right now that I feel like you kind of want that win over Hamzat to steal that heat. So yeah, Islam has a ton of heat coming into the next fight. I'm assuming now that Khabib looks like he is all but retired, they're going to sort of make that push for him to be the next dude. And he has the style. It's a very similar style to Khabib.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, and I'm not trying to argue with you, but I can't see any dimension, any world where the UFC are pushing for Islam Makhachev to be the champion over a Conor McGregor, a Dustin Poirier, or any of them guys. No offense to Islam. You know what I mean? May the best man win. You know what I mean? But they want, Islam's going to be, he probably will go in there. He has the style, as you said. I do agree with that. He has the style to beat everybody. I don't think he has the style where the UFC will go, hey, we need this guy as champ. He's going to have to take that.
I believe I have the talent and the skills to do it. I 100% do. It's just the next fight is going to create that. Right. It really will. Like, I'm going to need another fight. I already know that. And like I said, the division's packed, and we'll see what Shelby tells me. Shelby's no dummy, man. He put me in that slot so that everybody saw me in this fight. More views probably on that fight than most of the fight card, I would imagine. We'll all have to go back and look.
And against a tough-ass dude.
Yeah, he was good. Casey Kenny, you can say whatever you want, but I said it in every interview. Anybody in the top 15 is ready for it, could be ready for a title shot within 1 or 2 fights. Facts. That is a fact.
Yeah.
And that dude's got a real future ahead of him for sure. I mean, he's only got 2 losses and now 3, and he's solid. He's a solid, attributed fighter.
Yeah, listen, I don't think he lost a heck of a lot as far as, the perception of Adesanya as a fighter, as a champion. I think that, we're always kind of balancing the lines as a fighter as what kind of challenges we think we're capable of accomplishing. And sometimes we bite off a little bit too much. Like, he was talking about the Jon Jones fight. I didn't like that fight for him. And I think this fight against Yan is proof of that in some ways. This doesn't mean Adesanya isn't one of the best fighters I've seen in the octagon. It just means that we have limits as fighters. And I think as of right now, Jon Jones is at a limit, which I don't think Adesanya should pursue. This fight against Yan, while I do think it was winnable and I do think he won this fight, it was asking a lot. Your first fight at 205 pounds against a dude who's got good takedowns and is tough as hell and is really tough to stop. And, again, I don't put a whole lot of weight on losses or anything like that.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. If Adesanya stayed at 185 pounds from the start of his career to the end, I don't see anybody beating him, not for the next few years anyway. So, that's unique, and that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean everything, but, there's a reason why Khabib stayed at 155 pounds as well. He's undefeated for a reason. He knows he's the best in that weight class, and he stayed in that weight class. And that's just, it doesn't mean anything. That's just what I think.
Recovery session. Not much to recover from. Just had a little coconut from that knee. That.
Look, I left out. I met him at the house late. The kid was throwing up. After he came back from the hospital. These guys are crazy. Like, to think that the guy's faking it or whatever. Look, as a coach, he's not fighting after that. I don't want him fighting. I don't care what anybody says.
100%.
Like, what are we even talking about? Kid, when I saw the knee even played back on the replay, I go, it's even worse than the way it looked there. Because it wasn't like, it was in the heat of the battle. That's what I do understand. Sometimes you're scrambling, you just go to throw bits. This was almost execution style. I have my hands on his head probably for 10 Mississippis, right? And then I decide to do it. So there's a thought process, man, which is pretty scary to me, that you could do that at that point. You know what I mean? After you got your hands on his head, start punching him. I don't know. You're winning the fight at that point. Like, it was, to me, that's what. See, I think that's the other thing, even with Aljo getting the belt. That rule, to me, I think better serves if Aljo was ahead. He won every round decisively, and then that happens. Yeah, then I get it. Now there's not a problem with that rule. I think the fact that Aljo was, losing the fight, or at least starting to really, Yan was really coming on strong. That's what makes this worse. Is because now it looks like he gamed the system. But if Aljo was clearly ahead, I don't think any of us have a problem with, well, he was winning, so he should get the belt. So that rule, I think they have to probably do something about, but there's no harm in the fact that it was a blatant foul. I don't know what you do. I don't make the rules. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I tell you guys, I wake up this morning, I see on my phone, you're a piece of shit. Why? I make up the rules? What the I don't know. This. It's crazy the amount of hatred. Just it's insane to me. It really is. It's insane. The guy. What did Aljo do wrong? You know what I mean? He took
well,
Look, I left out. I met him at the house later. The kid was throwing up, after he came back from the hospital. These guys are crazy. Like, to think that the guy's faking it or whatever.